Hello, world of internet. This is Shakti RIos reporting on week 14 of my Florida School of Massage experience. I'm really excited to be filming today in particular. Today will be close to the closing of the second week of polarity therapy, which has been the modality that we have been submerged in since I came back from spring break. And we have one more week left of polarity therapy. However, I feel like right now I can better comment on my experience of polarity therapy in general. And so my experience of polarity was that in performance, it's a very subtle, very quiet modality when being performed. Receiving polarity for me has been very loud. Definitely not quiet internally. Has been a lot of movement, a lot of shifting, a lot of pain, emerging pain for me. The first week of polarity, I spent every single day with this really intense abdominal pain, and I couldn't pinpoint what was going on. It was either I was needing to go to the bathroom at random times, or I had nausea, felt like I was going to throw up, or just all these different stomach-related incidences kept coming up for me, and it was really interesting. Even abdominal swelling, I noticed one side of my abdomen was more swollen than the other, and it wouldn't go away. And it was like that for about 5 days as we were moving through the elements of earth and then into the element of water. And then around day 4 or 5, after I received water treatment and then fire treatment, I am now feeling no pain in my body and back to normal emotionally and physically more than I have felt in the past week. And this is the most dramatic, for me, it has been the most dramatic physical response to any of the modalities that we have done thus far. And what's very interesting to me about that is that it has been the modality during which the least amount of movement is actually present. And so that is exceptionally profound for me, just to really validate how significant our subtle bodies are and how significant our energetic bodies are, and that it's really important to pay attention to them. It's really important to balance them and treat them. It's not just about our muscles and our bones and the things that make us up physically. It is about our energy centers. It's about who we are, that thing when we say, I am this person, or I am, who is the I am? For me, I feel like this modality has really taught me that an I am is this space of energy that is contained within this framework, and it needs attention just as much as our muscles need attention, as much as our shell needs attention. And so I've been really, really aware of just how much energy can affect my physical body dramatically without having to make deep physical contact to create change. It's been incredible. So today as I film, we did air. So now we have now gone through earth, water, fire, and air, and ether is next. And my experience of fire and water were extremely positive and really invigorating, relieving, soothing. And for me, earth and air have been really off-putting and really just left me off my center totally, which is really interesting to me. Yeah. I also had a really interesting experience. Usually in class, before we go into practicing a modality, we'll have a demo. So we'll have one of our peers will actually lay on a massage table, and one of the teachers will practice whatever treatment we're learning on that person in front of the whole class so that we can all observe this together and then go and practice it. Every time we had a demo for polarity, I would feel the effects of whatever element we were treating for that day, even before I got any work done or had started being worked on, which was really interesting. For earth, earth being really grounding, settling energy, I felt suddenly very impatient and very unsettled. Like all the impatience in me was just accented or highlighted. When we did water, I felt seasick watching the demo. I was actually seasick, and I was like, I'm going to throw up right now. I didn't, but I felt exactly like I was sitting on a boat in the middle of an ocean. For fire, I could feel all this warmth in my chest, and I even put my partner's hand there so she could feel the intensity of that heat. And it just traveled up my neck and head, and it was incredible. And then for air day, as I was watching the demo, I was completely spaced out. I couldn't focus to save my life. And that, to me, is just really humorous and profound, to know just how much I can be affected by witnessing something. I don't even have to be involved in it. I can just be witnessing it and have the effects of that experience. And I think that speaks to our collective consciousness. I think that speaks to the oneness that we hear so much conversation about, that we all are one. And I think that was really proven to me when someone else was receiving a treatment and I was having the experience of receiving the treatment. And, you know, there's no other way to really explain that without this concept of that we all are connected, and what one person experiences does affect the life of another, and what we experience as a community affects other communities, and so on and so forth. And yeah, that has definitely been my experience in polarity therapy. I love the therapy. I've not necessarily loved everything I felt during therapy, but I love it, and I'm really enjoying learning how to treat people with it. I'm really excited to incorporate that into my sessions. I had clinics today, and was really interesting experience because I had the opportunity to work on someone who happens to be a physical therapist. And when I went into the session and I was reading the intake sheet, I was like, man, this person's a physical therapist. You know, this person knows their anatomy, their physiology, they know their kinesiology. I know they know, how to work certain muscles and how to target this and that. And so initially I was a little bit nervous. And then when I saw that, this person had a really precise idea of what they wanted in their session, and they sure let me know, like, right up front. And after the session, their feedback was amazing. They just shared how much they appreciated the session. They thought the body work was incredible. They were aware that my knowledge of anatomy was really detailed, and that I knew what I was doing, that my strokes were very specific, and that they just really appreciated the session as a whole. They thought it was an excellent massage session. And so that left me feeling really positive and really grateful to be at the school, having this experience, getting the education that I'm getting, which is not only so incredibly fun and colorful, diverse, profound, and holistic, but also very excellent linearly, very well prepared, well presented, and very easy to learn. So I just feel really gifted to be in this program and to be having the experience that I'm having, and to receive that feedback is really evidence that it is an incredible program. Makes learning very easy and very desirable. So that was a really positive experience. Other than that, I'm having a difficult time wrapping my mind around how fast time is passing. April's almost coming to a close, and May will be here soon, and in May the new class comes in, so I am now going to be old class, and I'm excited to meet them, and at the same time a little sad. It's a little bittersweet. Means that our time is quickly coming to a close, and with that, a lot of decisions are up in the air for me right now as to what happens after graduation. Where will I be living? What will I be doing? And those are all questions that are right now just hanging out in the air. I don't have any answers for them, and I'm not really rushing to have answers. I'm just sort of being with the experience of having the questions. So that's it for me in this week. I look forward to reporting next week. By next week, it'll be the closing of the third week of Polarity, and I'll let you know where I am then. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.